You send a critical email and you get radio silence. Or your boss says, "We need to talk tomorrow," as you pack to leave. Your brain grabs that tiny piece of ambiguous information and immediately starts writing a disaster movie. In a matter of seconds, you go from an unanswered message to getting fired, draining your savings account, and losing your home. We usually accept this sudden surge of terror as a concrete reality rather than a mental leap. We allow phantom scenarios to paralyze our actual lives, draining our energy before a real problem even exists. Dismantling this panic requires the clinical framework of cognitive behavioral therapy, specifically the research of Dr. David D. Burns at Stanford University. Dr. Burns identified that this spiral is a biological hardware failure. When a minor stressor hits, it activates your amygdala, your brain's threat detection center. Because the signal bypasses your prefrontal cortex, the logic center, your brain loses its ability to rationalize the incoming threat. Dr. Burns categorizes this unchecked biological alarm as a specific cognitive distortion called magnification. The terror you feel in the middle of the night is a physical glitch in your brain's processing, not a premonition of what is to come. Clinicians often explain this distortion using a very simple optical metaphor, the binocular trick. Your brain takes a completely ordinary mistake or delay and forces you to stare at it through the magnifying end of a pair of binoculars. Through that warped lens, a manageable problem suddenly appears lethal and unsolvable. But here is the biological reality. Thoughts are not facts. Your brain is generating a hallucination to keep you alert, but that doesn't make the threat real. A master strategist knows that once you identify the distortion, it loses its biological grip on your nervous system. Logic can return. There is an old Swedish proverb that captures this mechanism. Worry gives a small thing a big shadow. Think about how a shadow works. It can look like a towering monster on your wall, but it only exists because a tiny, harmless object is blocking a light source. The shadow itself has no weight, no teeth, and absolutely no power to harm you. Because the shadow isn't real, you don't fight it with a sword. You alter the environment to destroy the illusion. To shrink the problem back to its actual size, you have to force objective reality into the room. You have to turn on the light. We can do this through a tactical audit. Start with one question. What is the actual, verifiable problem in front of me right now? Then follow it up with a second audit. What actions are entirely within my control today? Reducing a failed project or a rough day to its factual size changes how the body responds. When the problem is no longer infinite, the nervous system begins to settle, allowing you to transition from blind panic to active management. Look at your own life right now. What small, manageable thing are you allowing to cast a massive shadow over your week? Turn on the light, look at the facts, and step out of the dark. Welcome to the Proverbial Life. Subscribe to build your mindset.